Autumn has rolled in, and that brings the changing of seasons, which also means my birthday is right around the corner. And with that brings my yearly existential crisis of what is life and what am I even doing here? Seeing the seasons change as we prepare for what comes ahead always inspires me to change, as it gives me a chance to take a second to assess life, what it really is, and where I'm at. Why are we here? What is our purpose? Which direction do I head in? This has been something that has plagued me since I was 20. I'm 30 now, and it's hard for me because I'm in the same place I was 10 years ago. Sure, things have changed. A lot has changed. I've moved to the coast, moved like 5 times while there, moved back home, gained a lot of life experience in the process, done a lot of cool and unique things, set some goals in which I met, and set some goals in which I abandoned. But back then, being 20, thinking a whole decade ahead, I imagined things to be entirely different. Do things really change in the grand scope you envision when you look in the future, or does nothing truly change? Are you always just you, the same person you always were and always will be, only with a few new stories and experiences under your belt? You ever get out of a relationship and kind of just sit there as it fully hits you and it leaves you thinking, damn, I'm all alone again. It's just me. I am now in the same place I was before I was in this relationship, kind of back to thinking the same thoughts, acting out the same actions, and inherently living the same way I was before this relationship came and went. It kind of makes you question if it really happened. I thought moving to the coast for a decade and moving back home, I would be a wildly different person. Sure, I've matured exponentially. I have evolved in many different ways, been through and seen a lot. I feel like I've lived multiple different lives within that time. But now as I take it all in this state of reflection, I feel the same as I did before moving, almost like it never happened. Before I moved back to my home province last year, I thought the change of location would change me. I would magically become the person I was waiting for me to become, but nothing changed. I thought being around my family again would change me, but nothing changed. I thought getting a new job in a new field would change me, but nothing changed. I always relied on and hoped for these external factors that weren't me to push me to my greater self, like, if this happens, I'll be better. If that happens, I'll be better. But no, the only way to change is to change yourself from the inside. You are the only one capable of this. Nothing has power over you but yourself, and it took me so long to realize that. You have to change the way you think and change the way you act. You can't expect different results in life if you can't break the habits of old routines and thought patterns, or breaking the habit of being yourself. This mental routine of thought and also physical routine of action holds you back, and these routines prevent you from true and transformative change. Change that lasts. Change that is sustainable. Breaking free from yourself takes so much work on your part to rewire your brain and implement new thoughts, ideas, and behaviors that will stick, instead of thinking life will magically change you without you putting in the work. A new job won't change you. Moving won't change you. People won't change you. A relationship won't change you. Like, sure, they do in ways. You will learn new things, have new experiences, but you'll always slip back to old habits after a while once the buzz of new things wears off. And that dopamine high you get from these new situations tapers, and you're wondering how to sustain that feeling that once felt so great. Once you start a new job, you are a star worker for like 3 weeks, trying to always be your best self and outwork everyone. But once you get comfortable, that feeling fades, and now you're the same worker you were in your previous job that you thought was so mundane. Is it the job that's mundane, or is it you? Once you get into a new relationship, the energy is so magnetic. it's fresh. There's a polarity which pulls you together. This polarity creates magic between you two. You're always trying to be your best self for your partner and be their complementary other half, the yin to their yang, the masculine to her feminine, or vice versa. But once you get comfortable as time continues to pass, the two of you start to feel more like friends. That initial spark goes away if not tended to. The honeymoon phase ends. What I'm getting at is comfort is the true killer of all things good, and the best way to stay on your toes so you can stay away from stagnant energy is to embrace unknown situations, which advance your life in ways nothing else can. Creating and embracing new situations, especially ones that will truly change you with the results you deeply desire, well, you have to change who you are at your core and work on yourself so you can invite these in and make them last. The evolution has to stay constant. You can't experience new and unknown parts of your life while still feeling the same known thoughts and the same known emotions you've been used to. Find that feeling that feels so good in these initial situations, learn where that comes from, and learn to harness it. You need to put in the work. Life doesn't happen without action. Do people really have it figured out? Like I said, I'm 30. I don't have an established career and really struggle to get into one or find one I'm even remotely interested in. Seeing people just out of high school know what they want to do career-wise and stick it through their entire lives, I don't understand. I see people with multiple friends who can keep relationships going strong, and I don't understand. Once I moved back, I've really made no solid friends so far. I've met people, sure, but there's been nothing worthwhile at all. I see these people in multi-year-long relationships. I haven't been in one or even been on a date in over 2 years and can't fathom how to make one last for over a year. I thought by now I'd have it all figured out. I'd be chilling with a good group of friends, I'd be established within a career that will help me start a family, while at the same time in the last relationship of my life, potentially with plans of getting married. But it seems I'm still at this point where I was 10 years ago. Figuring shit out. It's insane to me how at the age I'm at now, my mom just had me and my parents had their own house together. One that they had bought. Like, dude, imagine buying a house. Meanwhile, I had to move back in with my parents due to financial reasons. I lack a social circle, and I'm watching videos on how to talk to women. I know and realize everyone's path is different. Not everyone is cut out for the same shit. We all go down our own unique paths and are destined for our own unique lessons. I was a late bloomer in life and was developmentally behind everyone in my grade in every single way. Most of my achievements and milestones were achieved a lot later on than most people. But the thing about late bloomers is that they still bloom. Does this state of existentialism ever end, or do we just float through life not having a grounded clue on what is going on? I used to think after figuring out the meaning of life that I would have everything figured out, like it was some kind of grand code to decipher. I would suddenly be given the golden ticket to living good. Like I would walk different, talk different, my dick would hang a little bit lower, I'd stand taller, my energy field would skyrocket, people would look at me and be like, damn, who this guy? He's got it. But to my surprise, it really isn't like that. And also, it really isn't that deep. There literally is no meaning to life unless you give life meaning. Life only makes sense if you force it to. You can go through life thinking we are here for no reason at all, nothing has come before or after us, and you can just live a kind of bland existence. But that doesn't give life that spice in which us humans have the opportunity to experience and taste. We're our own chefs trying to cook up the meal of a lifetime. In my opinion, to me, the meaning of life is to experience heightened emotions and living in a state of elevated awareness. To experience love, joy, gratitude, abundance, and an overall pure enthusiasm for being here. The good stuff. Other species can experience this, but I believe we're the only ones who have the conscious awareness and power of turning these on ourselves, turning these off, knowing what they truly are when they happen, and learning from these states of being. Just being in control. It's a gift we have that a lot of us truly waste, as some of us tend to devote our time delving into lower level survival emotions such as fear, hatred, resentment, depression, so on. The stuff that robs us from the human experience, which keeps us within a more primal and primitive state of existence. We vibrate lower and we vibrate slower. The emotions we choose to feel drastically affect every area of our lives, whether you choose to believe that or not, right down to a cellular level. I say choose to feel because at a deep subconscious level, we choose to feel the ways that we do, whether we are aware of it or not. It's more so our bodies that do this. When we experience an emotion, such as depression, let's say, it sends a chemical reaction through the entire body, and our bodies react to this. Every emotion we feel creates chemical reactions inside of us. If you experience an emotion for so long, your body gets used to these chemicals being released, as over time, it almost forms an addiction in a way, a dependency, and it's hard to break out of. You ever struggle with depression, you break out of the feeling, and after a while you relapse back into the feeling of the emotion, go through an episode, and you get a warm sense of deranged comfort from this emotion, almost like a blanket that is wrapped around you. It's like being reunited with an old friend who gets you and understands you, but at the same time, you know and understand that this person is no good for you, since that first time that they came into your life, they went through great lengths to bring you down. Your body is, in a way, happy to feel these familiar chemicals again, since it has been all your body has known for so long. It's fucked up. These lower states of emotion take so much power and possibility away from us. When we feel these higher states of emotion, we feel as though this is who we truly are. This is who we are meant to be. We feel unstoppable. We vibrate and resonate at a rate that can shoot us into the cosmos if we so choose. It feels as if we have the ability to change reality, turn it into this malleable state where life is truly ours. The world is our oyster, so to speak. It's the closest way we can feel connected to God, the universe, source, or whatever it is that you believe in. If life wasn't about experiencing this, then what is it truly about? People can say it's about procreation and keeping the human race going, but in order to procreate, you have to feel some sort of love or one of these other heightened emotions. Procreation at its core, ideally, stems from love. Well, that is most of the time, unfortunately. From a more primal and primitive point of view, some can argue, since no other species really share this gift, since they fuck for the sake of fucking, releasing their sexual pent-up energy inside. But good sex, like truly, really good sex, can be a spiritual and transformative experience. I also believe one of life's reasons is to create new things, to make this experience better and more accessible than it was 2 minutes ago by providing value to one another, using the gift that is our thinking brain. And with that is also a very valid reason, and also ties into the procreation point, since the only difference between creation and procreation is a 3-letter word. We all provide value and have our own designated role within this world. Some find it a lot easier than others, some choose not to pursue it, others choose to drown this concept out and ignore it with an instant gratification, but we all have our purpose on this earth. And if you don't think so, if you think you have no purpose, you haven't tried hard enough to find your footing, and you really need to put more faith into yourself. At the end of the day, you really need to give yourself a chance. If that fails, that's the joy of it. You'll learn from the experience you had, figure out what went wrong, what went right, and try again. The beautiful thing about life is that you can give yourself as many new beginnings as you would like. I know how the things I explain can be hard to achieve to some, since to experience these emotions such as love, joy, and gratitude, they're primarily gained through experience, and today, with the climate we are in, it is very hard to find the time and energy for this. Putting it how it is, most people don't do a lot, and a lot of people don't utilize what they have to even a fraction of what they are capable of. Some are even unaware of the power that they have inside. They don't know anything else from what they are currently feeling and have been feeling. This feeling is due to having little to no free time within our busy lives, being worked to the bone to barely even make ends meet, the cost of living being dummy high, the world being a place which makes it hard to even want to participate in, people choosing to isolate themselves, man, the list goes on. Even on weekends, it's hard to find the time to make things happen, but the time is there. Just start by focusing on making things happen in your head, fantasize the life that you wish you could be living, and become obsessed with it. By that alone, you will start to feel differently. Learn the concept of mind movies or mental rehearsal. Envision yourself in these higher states. Envision yourself succeeding in some way or another. And the more that you picture yourself doing something, the more you train your brain into what you're thinking is real. And the more space in your life can clear up to make way for your vision to become a reality. Life is a movie, and you are the main star. When the seasons change, especially into fall, so do I. I'm a Scorpio, and anyone familiar with this sign knows that they are associated with the phoenix, and phoenixes are known for rising from the ashes, death and rebirth. With fall brings death, and as winter comes, we take the time to replant our roots. Then as spring dawns, it gives us a chance for us to blossom once again. The death and rebirth cycle doesn't always correlate the seasons, but it's a good way to generalize it. I always tend to die a little this time of year. My birthday is at the beginning of November, which always brings a state of existentialism, as I'm reminded that my time here is shortening. Seeing the leaves change and the temperature drop at the end of September always starts this for me, and it sends me into such a deep state of reflection and melancholia. Sometimes I pull out of it within days or weeks, or sometimes it lasts a month or two. Some people dislike this state of being, but analyzing life as a whole is a healthy way to be better and progress yourself. No one likes being stagnant. There's constant lessons to be learned, and I'm always for learning new things to help me be better. I'm also always for helping people to do the same as well. Everyone has their purpose, and I believe mine, as of right now, since our purpose always changes, is to help others. And that has been my main goal with whatever this video has turned out to be. I started with such a loose idea and kind of went everywhere with it, trying to answer anything that I asked in the process. I also just wanted to write, yap, and film leaves. So if you made it to this point, I hope the things I spoke resonated with you in some way or another. Whether you learned some new things, whether your views on life changed in a way, or overall, you just feel understood and heard. I know that's one of the most comforting things you can experience in a state of reflection, just knowing someone else gets it and understands. And maybe if you came here feeling how I did before making this video, a little bit alone, confused, and very existential, you feel as I do now, a little bit more at ease with some sort of sense that has been made, with this newfound connection that has just been formed. Connection to what? That's for you to figure out. And once you do, you've embarked on a better path, and you're better than you were before this video. This was Life by Freddie Savage.